right, this is the Access Technology team, International Federation of the Blind. We are filming the unboxing of the brand new Surface slate that we just got for Microsoft. Amy Mason is doing the unboxing. Clara Van Gerven is doing the holding of the iPad 3, which is what we're using to film this, just as an extra piece of making this a slate face-off. Go.
That's true. All right, to unbox, we are going to involve the box cutter just a little bit. Just a little bit more. But while I'm unboxing this, I can tell you a little bit about the Microsoft Slate. This will be the RT model, so it's got an ARM processor. Inside the box, if all goes as planned, we should have some lovely goodies above and beyond just the slate itself, including the keyboard, which I am very excited to see. And I am fail at opening boxes. Here we go. Gently remove the inner box. Ooh. It's shiny. It's a big white box. It says Surface on it.
Let me come and zoom in.
With blue writing. And in a separate panel out of the box, I received the keyboard case. And it just slips out of its carrier like that. I think there's something else in here. I think it doesn't even come out very good. Little paper giblet about the Surface. Appears to possibly be everything in that little section. Anything else in the box? Oh. It slid out of its inner box coming out of the big box in the first place. The outer box is actually a black with white surface on it. So since that's helped me in the unboxing already, we're going to see about popping in to the actual main event here. Okay.
Amy, you did some testing beforehand with the beta software. While you're unboxing that, you want to tell us a little bit about your experience about that so we can set the stage for
Absolutely.
what people should expect?
Microsoft has made big strides in narrator functionality, and it rather impressively works with, for Microsoft, rather impressively, works now with touch gestures. What I tended to find was that a lot of the big strokes, a lot of the big ideas were really there, really logical, really well laid out. Some of the fine points still need some tweaking.
All right, now there's the Surface.
This is the Surface itself. It feels nice and solid in your hands. The plastic safety cover off. Oh, that feels really nice. Really, it does feel just as nice as any iPad or the Nexus 7. Physically, it's great feeling hardware.
Yeah, and I see that there's two slots on the bottom for where the keyboard slots in.
Yep.
Could you move the plastic, Amy?
I would be happy to.
Thank you.
And other Otherwise, in the box, we've got a power cord. And that appears...
USB
It is
or regular?
not a USB power cord. It looks like it acts a lot like one of the Mac power cords, where it has the plug that actually pops out the side, and then it's actually a magnetic connection to the side of the device. Looks to be that would connect right about here, I think.
And that's on the bottom right-hand side, left-hand side?
That is the
Bottom left-hand? No, bottom right.
bottom right. And there it is.
Okay.
On the back, it has a little kickstand that's actually included in the device.
Nice.
Opens up, shuts nicely, allows us to sit it up on its front and stare at us. So that's rather nice, actually. Is there anything else in the lower bin of the box? Nope. Cardboard. Alright, so let's go ahead and connect it to the keyboard and turn this puppy on, see what we can learn. The keyboard, by the way, is an extra cost add-on, but it's also one that Microsoft recommends very highly. Oh, there we are. So let's turn this bad boy on. There is a...
Can you do a quick description of the keyboard and what buttons are on the actual Surface?
Absolutely. The keyboard is on what feels very much like similar to a smart cover for an Apple device, with literally almost an etched feel for each of the keys. They have no tactile feedback, in that when you press them, they don't press back. They don't give at all. And unfortunately, they also don't have the little bumps for F and J, so I'm having a little bit of difficulty here finding my beginner points on the actual keyboard piece itself. On the tablet, the Surface itself, we have a volume rocker on the left-hand side, and the Windows key, well, there's a Windows logo that is possibly the Windows key. On the tablet that we tested on, there was a physical Windows key in the center of the bezel, which was a Samsung Series 7. This, however, there's a visual Windows logo graphically painted on the screen here, but nothing tactile to discern it. So that could be interesting.
All right, start it up.
Let's start her up as soon there. Maybe that's our power button on the top. Yep, there we go.
And the screen is now just reading Surface, nothing else is happening yet. There's a little icon that indicates that it's loading.
First load must be a little bit of a lengthy process.
Okay, so we have the first visual configuration screen. See if we can kick it into a narrator.
Alright. because they are slightly more tactile, I'm going to actually be using the Windows key on the keyboard here with the up volume key to see if we can turn on narrator. And we're having none of that, so let's see if I can hold my windows, press my up. Ooh. As I'm pressing the Windows key on the actual device, the surface is vibrating just a little bit.
So there's some haptic feedback, but it's not actually starting narrator.
No.
Oh,
Whoa, there we go.
there goes narrator.
3 times with 4 fingers to review the full set of touch gestures supported by narrator. Drag a single finger around the screen to hear the names of the items you're touching. Press Windows plus volume up to exit narrator. If you're using a keyboard, press Caps Lock plus F1 to review the full set of narrator commands.
All right, narrator just gave us some basic instructions on how to get started. A triple tap with, I forgot what it said. It was either a triple tap with 4 fingers or a quadruple tap with 3 fingers, but we're going to try triple tap with 4 fingers, and I'll let you know if that works. There we go.
Search all commands window. Focus on search box. Editing explorable text.
That allowed us to actually,
Tap once with 2 fingers.
yes, stop reading. Tap once with 2 fingers. That allowed us to get into its narrator setup, so that's kind of nice. We can do the flick gesture similar to what we do on iOS.
Vertical. Scroll bar. Do secondary action. Hold 1 finger and tap twice with a 2nd finger. Move to next item. Flick right with 1 finger. 6 of 86. Double tap to
And
activate.
it's actually running me through the different gestures. This being a Windows device, it has some different ways of handling its interactions. For example, like with a physical standard Windows machine with a mouse, there are secondary actions available for different things that you can tap on. So instead of tapping on them with 1 finger, you actually would hold with 1 and tap with another 2. It's just a different way of handling it. I got to admit, not in love with not having a physical start button.
Windows. Windows.
One can get used to it, but
Shall we try to set it up and
yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Double tap to place text insertion point. Triple tap to enter selection mode.
Yeah.
Title bar. System. Collapse. Close button. Double tap to active. Next
we go.
button. Short. Your display language. Pick the language you'll want to see and use most on this computer.
And in keeping with the voice, there's also a visual highlighter box that tracks the gestures, or tracks the focus.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to have him interrupt you.
Espanol button. English button.
Let's
Double
try
tap to
English.
Activate. Non-selected.
There we go.
Non-selected.
Non-selected.
Espanol button.
Now visually it's actually selected,
Activate. Next
so
button. Double tap to activate.
I'm not sure why it doesn't read that.
I accept the license terms for using Windows uncheck checkbox.
We're going to accept that, because we don't get to move on without accepting the license terms for using Windows.
Accept button. Double tap to button.
Button.
PC name. Editing explorable text.
PC name. Alright, I'm going to try this keyboard. Unfortunately, to do that, I have to turn the device away from the viewership at least a little.
I.
I. I'm trying.
Backslash equal B. 1. Backspace. 5.
Now, are you having trouble finding the keys, or are they just not responsive?
Little of both. Mostly finding the right keys is a bit of a problem without any kind of a tactile nub to give me my F and J.
Okay.
They're actually more responsive than I'm giving them credit for, I think, but it's very off-putting to type on a keyboard without any tactile feedback at all. I'm not sure how hard to hit it to make it accept them, because I'm actually able to move my fingers across it without starting things. Microsoft's claiming that that's going to actually be something that people get faster at.
Non-selected. Collapsed.
Select who's it. That would be lovely.
As. Posit. 1 of 14. Doubled. Posit. Selected.
Okay, so you're selecting a wireless network.
Mm-hmm.
Set up Windows window. Jinxies. Kirstens. Cora. Wire. Workspace. Set up Windows window. Set up Windows
This is a little tricky with the setup because, of course, Explore by touch, you're going to have to explore every inch of the screen to find that OK button.
Set up Workspace.
And that's a little difficult to do when essentially working over the device's shoulder, so to speak. So I apologize for any wait.
Belt. Vmark. Jinxies. Set up Windows window. Set up Windows window. Connect button.
Yes.
Double tap to activate. Button.
So
Password.
you can't flick to that control?
I would have had to flick through all of the events or all of the wireless names
Networks.
first. That might have been an easier option, but I found that it really depends. Sometimes it'll flick to the controls properly, and sometimes it was not doing so great in earlier tests using the beta software.
Okay.
It's asking for the name of the password, so
For that, actually, I'm going to pause.
yeah. Good.
All right, so we're now connected to the network.
We're back on. Let's see what it's got for us
Set up
this time.
Windows Set up back button. Ease of access button. Settings. To help your PC run better, we will update it automatically and get software for your
Lovely.
new devices. Express settings.
Express
Item
settings,
cannot
we'd like
take
to,
both. You can customize the Express settings. You can customize the following. Help protect your PC from unsafe files and websites. Item cannot take both. Turn on Do Not Track in Internet Explorer.
are you asking me to do these things, or I'm a little confused as to what it's asking me here. Whether
Yeah,
it's just
visually it
telling
looks
me.
like it's just a list.
Okay,
Help.
then we'll move past that list.
But obviously, for a blind user, that's going to be very puzzling.
US. Learn privacy statement. Use Express settings button.
Aha.
To activate.
Well, that cleared it up.
Editing explorable text.
I don't want to do that right now, friends.
When you sign into download apps, get your sync setting, privacy statement, sign up for it, sign in without a next button, sign in without a Microsoft account, link, Microsoft account button, shortcut Alt+M,
Really?
local account button, no next item, Microsoft account button, no free back button, ease of access button, sign into your, there are two options for signing in. Microsoft account, signing into PC, set up Windows, download apps from Windows Store. Make your PC local account.
Local account. Let's see what you got.
Signing in with a local account means you have to create a username and account for each PC you use.
Yes, the old way.
You'll need a Microsoft account to download apps, but you can set it up later.
That is what I'd like to do, my little friend.
Set up Windows window. Back button. Ease of access button.
Why did it take me back to the
Set up
top?
Windows window.
I apologize, friends. I am slightly confused here as well. It appears to have taken me back to the top of the page when I want to get
Set
back
up
down to my
Windows
buttons at the
Set up
bottom.
Windows window. Local account button.
Yes,
Double
local
tap to
account.
activate. Item has no primary action. Item has no primary action. Back button. No. Microsoft account button. Local account button. Double tap to activate.
Okay, it's told me to double tap the local account button to activate it, so when I double tap it,
Username.
it works this time.
Historical text.
Earlier it was telling me there is no primary action for that. It's an interesting device. Beautiful hardware. It's asking for usernames.
Set up username. Username. Editing. Insertion point at end of line.
So once
Again, this is not the most interesting, so let me pause here for a moment. All right, and we're back. Visually, it's giving some sort of a startup screen for which there's no audio at all.
Nope.
It's telling you a little bit about how it works. But yes, no audio whatsoever there.
Absolutely nothing, even when I interact with the screen.
So at this point, the visuals are cycling, but it gives no indication of progress. Visually now, after about 5 minutes, it's saying, we're getting your PC ready, but no audio indication whatsoever that it is just broken.
Mm-hmm. It's really quite frustrating.
Start menu. Pane. Focus on mail.
Welcome back. Our friend the Surface has returned, and we have... What have we got going on?
Narrator set.
Ah,
Tap 3 times with 4 fingers to review the full set of touch gestures supported by narrator. Drag a single finger
let's get
around.
rid of you.
Narrator settings window. Help.
So by default, the first thing it brings up is the narrator settings
For volume of the
before you even get to the
double tap to activate.
Before you can get to the start screen or the home screen.
that's
I guess it's called the start screen on Windows, actually. What used to be called Metro, and they're now calling Windows 8 UI.
Exit narrator.
No.
Double. Minimize this window and return to your app. Button.
Yes.
Double tap to activate.
And that, once we found the right button, actually worked as planned. So what we have here, in theory,
Start menu.
there we go,
Double tap to activate. Mail.
are what they call live tiles. They are
Select. Launch mail. Non-selected. Draggable. Expanded. Column 1 row.
shush. Live tiles, which are essentially both an icon and a information container. They literally are large boxes on the screen, fairly brightly colored, with big icons within them that are interactable. As things are set up on the tablet, the weather will, instead of showing some random weather icon, possibly clouds and a sun, I'm not really sure, it would actually give us a basic weather report, something along the lines of it's 72 degrees and sunny in Baltimore.
and that's available to narrator.
That is available to narrator, at least it was during the beta. Getting that set up was a little tricky because the actual next level interface although it worked, was somewhat counterintuitive.
Can we go to it now and see whether it would bring anything up by default?
Mail.
Yes,
It certainly, potentially, it could recognize the location without any further prompting.
indeed. Let me see if we can find the weather.
Desktop. Messaging. Calendar. Double tap. Photos. Double tap to weather.
There we are.
45 degrees. 50
Oh.
degrees. New York City. Cloudy.
Well, let's pick.
63 degrees. Sydney. Mostly cloudy. 80
So it's rotating through a number of weather forecasts
degrees.
for different places.
Light showers. 45 degrees. London. Fair. 51 degrees / 38 degree. Free weather
Albeit,
window.
that's
Focus on
interesting.
weather app. Explorable text. Window opened. Weather. Window.
I am exploring the window with my finger here to see what I can learn. We're going to start the flick gestures to see if we can learn anything more definitive.
Do you want to turn on location services and allow weather to use your location? Allow button. Double tap to activate.
Pardon me, friends.
Weather app. Explorable text.
And it just asked me if we wanted to turn on location services, which we did. And hopefully that means we're going to find out that the weather here is
50.
50 degrees.
50 degree. WDT link. Double tap to activate. Value http://www.wdtincture.com. Read only.
That doesn't tell me a lot, guys. You came up with a web address that
Thursday 1.
didn't sound like anything I wanted to hear about.
50 degrees. Cloudy.
Yeah.
50 degrees. Cloudy. Feels like 50 degrees. WDT. Thursday 1. 56 degrees / 42 degree. Cloudy. Friday 2. 53 degrees / 37 degree. Partly cloudy.
And it's giving us the weather report for the week.
51 degrees /
Let's go ahead and go back to our home screen.
Mostly sunny.
Or,
Sun 4. 54 degrees / 38
okay,
degree.
that's gonna get on my
Partly
nerves.
cloudy. On 5. 52
At the
degrees
moment, I
/
am trying to
38
discover the start button and not having a
Tuesday 6.
great deal of,
55 degrees / 40 degree.
Is there a start button on the...
there is, we're going to use that now.
Window. Start menu.
Ah,
Focus on mail.
all right, that start button works more reliably, at least for now, and since it's at least tactily outlined, it's slightly easier to find.
All right, any last comments before we wrap up these initial impressions?
Selection contains 24 items.
I think that the Surface is going to be an interesting device, but not for the faint of heart. It's got a lot of quirks yet, and something you've got to remember, especially about the RT version, which is the one we have here, running an ARM processor. It's meant to be a tablet first and foremost, not a full-blown Windows PC, and it's not going to run any other screen access package or any legacy software. If you go for a Surface tablet that's available right now, this is all you can get. The Pro version will be running Windows 8, and it's out later this year or early next. And then it may be a different ballgame. Interesting, but not my tablet of choice yet, to be honest.
All right, thanks, Amy. And this is Access Technology signing off from Baltimore, Maryland.